Welcome to episode 24 of the Soulful Menopause podcast. Today I'm discussing the different types of stress we experience, some of which you'll probably be unaware of. I'm highlighting the effects that stress can have on us as we move through menopause, and I'm also providing you with some simple and powerful techniques you can use to de-stress, yes, and create some peace in your life. These techniques could help you to reduce your symptoms of menopause and generally improve your health and well-being. So let's get started. Welcome to the Soulful Menopause podcast. Discover how to transform the chaos of menopause into vibrant health and a soulful life you'll love. I'm Sally Love, natural nutritionist and soul wisdom coach. I want you to experience a soulful menopause that'll guide you into the best years of your life. So glad you've been able to join me today. So today I just want to talk very briefly on stress. Now, actually, stress is a really big subject because if you're a nutritionist like me or a medical doctor, you'll know only too well that stress can have far-reaching effects on the body. One so-called simple issue such as stress can cause a multitude of health issues. And at menopause, we're so much more sensitive to stress, and therefore, its effects can be really felt a lot more deeply by us. Maybe you've even noticed, for example, that it's easier for you to get stressed now than it was when you were in your early 40s, for instance. Your tolerance to stress can be severely diminished during menopause. And then this opens up to all sorts of issues, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, particularly making our menopausal symptoms a lot worse. So the thing to consider is that there are many different forms of stress. Now, not only are there the normal stresses that we know about, such as when we're panicking about being late for an appointment or arguments with those closest to us, our friends or our family, stress that we may be feeling with our work, stress over our finances, and, the general stresses of a busy day where we're rushing from one thing to the next with no time to sort of breathe in between. So there are all of those stresses which we are, are pretty much aware of in our day-to-day lives. But there are also other types of stresses that could be actually piling on top of all of this without you even being aware of it. And I'll just go into a few of them. For example, inflammation in your body is a huge stressor, and it's really likely that you'll be totally unaware that this is actually going on in your own body. Inflammation can lead to all sorts of health issues such as arthritis and digestive issues and autoimmune diseases and heart disease and just general aches and pains. If you're just waking up in the morning and you're all creaky and going about your day just generally feeling achy, and that can be due to inflammation. And of course, inflammation can lead to much more serious things such as cancer. And this is where I step in as a nutritionist to see if inflammation is present in your body, and if it is, to correct it naturally. So inflammation can cause a huge stress on your body, and it can have a massive impact on your hormone levels during menopause as well. Now, also negative thinking. When we're worrying about things, maybe when we're getting angry as well, perhaps we're holding on to resentment, we're feeling unfulfilled, we're feeling frustrated about things in our lives. And, all of those sort of uncomfortable thoughts and feelings, they can actually create a tremendous amount of stress in your body. Now, listening or watching the news is also a huge stressor. And most of us will do that every single day and probably several times every single day. You know, you listen to it maybe in the morning, you're in your car, you hear it on the radio, everybody's talking about what's going on politically at work or with your friends, and you can really hardly bear to sort of manage to escape it. But I actually do. I very rarely listen to the news. I have got an app on my phone where I will just go into it and just have a look for probably about a minute. I will just whiz down the headlines and just move away from it. And I probably do that about once a week, because listening to the news, watching the news can be very stressful for your body, and it can directly affect how you think and feel. So not only are you getting stressed when you're watching or listening the news, but that stress caused by doing that creates more stress by affecting how you think or you feel or you act later on in that day. The other thing you may not be aware of are electronic devices and Wi-Fi. You know, these things cause a huge amount of stress to the body. And this is especially so if you're spending a lot of your time in front of your phone or on a laptop, on a computer, or maybe you're in an office with LED lighting. That's particularly bad for creating stress in the body as well. Also, shift work. You know, do you have a job where you're working these shifts and you're working sometimes through the night and then other times you're working during the day and you're all over the place? That can really mess up your circadian rhythms and cause a lot of stress to your body, and particularly your hormones, more so, of course, when you reach menopause. Also, over-exercising. Yes, you can over-exercise. A lack of good quality sleep. A change in your life, of course, actually most of us are all very much aware of that, such as moving home or a member of your family passing away. But blood glucose imbalances, blood sugar imbalances, they can cause stress in your body, and you may not even know that you have that. One simple sign of that could be, for example, getting that mid-afternoon slump. That could be an indicator of a blood glucose imbalance. If you eat nutrient deficient food, that'll cause a lot of stress in your body because your body hasn't got the nutrients it needs to be able to help it to thrive. If you're eating too much sugar, if you're eating too much, or if you're eating too little. If you live in a city and you're breathing in exhaust fumes day after day after day. If you're using toxic household products and body lotions and makeup and shampoo and conditioner and other beauty products that can actually contain toxins. And a great resource I want to share with you is if you go to the website ewg.org. That's a fantastic site where they have this skin deep part where you can put in the product that you're using, and if it's listed on there, it will tell you if there's any toxicity in those products that you're using. So that's a really good resource that I use a lot. What else? Well, there's also all of the toxins that come from in our carpets and our curtains and our sofa. And, you know, a lot of these can contain toxic flame retardants that cause a lot of stress to your body. Eating pesticide residues on non-organic food. They can even be present on some organic food as well. You know, you can have a organic food producer right next door to a traditional farmer, and some organic food can also receive some of those toxic residues. But obviously you're going to have far fewer of those pesticides on non-organic food. So eat organic as much as you possibly can, because some of those pesticide residues can actually influence your hormone levels as well, very negatively, and cause a tremendous amount of toxicity for your body. Some of them are very carcinogenic. Oh, well, I could go on, and I don't want to depress you here. But suffice to say that our daily lives are full of so many different things that can cause stress to our whole being. As I say, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. So it's no wonder that we're seeing more and more cases of cancer and other diseases now, because it's not just a matter of what you eat or how much exercise you do. It's all of those other toxins that our bodies are being exposed to day after day after day. And our bodies can only take so much. And if we've got a lot of stress going on in all these different ways, then our bodies just go, oh, I can't deal with this. And our bodies just get overwhelmed, and they can't work as well. They can't help us to thrive. They're literally, any good food that we're putting into our body is actually just really helping us to survive, and not really moving us, giving us the energy or the resources to move into thriving. So when your body gets stressed, it sees the stressor as a risk to its survival. So what happens is that your body goes on high alert to protect itself. Therefore, your body will put its priority to saving your life and put you in a constant place of preparation, preparing for you to be able to run away or fight the threat. The trouble is our bodies can feel that they're under this threat every single day. Therefore, your body is prepared for saving your life every single day. This takes up a lot of energy. So you may end up feeling more exhausted, more pessimistic, or less motivated than usual. And like I was just saying, because your body is preparing to run and fight for its life all the time, all of its resources go towards doing that, and it slows down all of your non-essential bodily functions, such as balancing your hormones. Who cares about balanced hormones if you've got to fight for your life? Who cares about good digestion if you could possibly die? Who cares about healthy skin and hair if your life is under threat? And so it goes on. So stress can worsen our menopausal symptoms and, in fact, our whole experience of menopause. Stress directly impacts your hormonal levels, and it will create a lot of chaos in the body and affect you physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. So it can make your physical symptoms worse. It can affect the way that you're thinking and you're feeling, and certainly how you're thinking and feeling about yourself and your whole life. It can dampen down your vitality. And, it can just make you feel downright awful on every level. Basically, stress disempowers you. Stress disempowers you. So, what can we do about this? How can we actually be empowered? Well, of course, everybody's body reacts differently to different stresses. And, I could put you in a room full of 100 other women, and every single one of you will have different stresses and different responses to those stresses. Plus, the way that you're experiencing your menopause journey so far will make a huge impact. What are your individual hormones doing in your body? What levels are they at? What's your past medical history? What are your past eating habits, your eating habits now, your life experiences up till now, your illnesses up to now, the medications and other treatments you've received up to now? What has your home environment been up to now? From your whole time since you were a baby, since you were born, and even before then. And then your work environment, your family issues, your financial issues, your family medical history, and so on and so on and so on. All of these aspects will affect what stresses you have and how you as an individual react to them. And this is why I love my work so much. Everyone has their own story of how they've arrived at the here and now. Therefore, it's really important that you need to be treated as the unique individual you are. If you don't get treated as that unique individual and you're not addressing every level of your being, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, it's likely that you'll never find that beautiful balance in your life that you're looking for. Now, saying this, of course, there are some strategies that can help everyone, and I'm going to share some with you now. However, please do bear in mind that these are just a few tools. Now, albeit the ones I'm going to share with you are very powerful tools, but even though these could make a huge difference in your life, they probably won't get to the core of your own individual issues. And I want you to bear this in mind, because this is really important when we keep seeing all of these supplements and different diets out there, that are promising you an end to your menopausal symptoms. Please remember that you are a beautiful individual. And firstly, your body may not react well to these diets or supplements. And secondly, these approaches are only looking at the superficial level of symptoms. They're not actually addressing your own unique core reasons as to why your body is giving off these symptoms, why your body is stressed. Okay, now I don't want to get too much off track here, but this is something that I stand for, that the need for all of us to start seeing healthcare, is exactly that, healthcare, and not sick care where we're just treating the symptoms. So when we treat the symptoms, of course, the core reason hasn't been dealt with, and it continues to be present. And that's when we can get caught up in these cycles of feeling better and then suddenly everything coming crashing down on us again. And we can get caught up in that vicious cycle, which is just so frustrating and disempowering. We need to be treating everyone as beautifully unique, because that's exactly what we are. That's exactly what you are. You are beautifully unique. So let's get on with some simple stress-reducing techniques to provide your body with some love and support that it so needs during these stressful times in our lives. Now, one simple, quick, easy thing to do. I know you want this simple, quick, easy thing to do, don't you? We're stressed. We need something that can really make an impact as quickly and as easy as possible. So, one thing you can do that makes a big difference, even though this is really simple, a big difference, is to take 3 long, slow, deep breaths at regular times during your day. Now, this can make a big difference because breathing like this gives a signal to your body and your hormones that it can calm down. And your body will actually respond to this pretty much immediately. I mean, within seconds. So this is it is really the easiest and most simple technique I can share with you that can make a big difference. Okay. So let's do that together right now. So just take a few deep breaths in. Very long, slow, deep breath. Breathe in. Hold for a few seconds. And breathe out. And let's take another deep breath in. Hold it for a couple of seconds. And breathe out. And as you breathe out, just allow your shoulders to drop. And another deep breath in. Hold it for a few seconds and breathe out and let everything go. Yes. Okay, now, even though this is a very small and easy thing to do, it can still create a big challenge because it means that you've got to change what you do during your day, and you've got to think about it. You've got to be very aware of it for probably about a few weeks at least before it becomes a habit. So it's easy to forget to do it, and it's easy to suddenly realize that you only did it once in the day and then after a few days you realize you haven't done it at all. So what I would recommend is you set an alarm on your phone. And you may want to just do it 3 times during the day to start off with, and create a beautiful alarm on your phone. We don't want a horrible whack, whack, whack alarm. We want something that's really lovely, that sounds like fairy dust or twinkles, or whatever lights your boat with that, but something that really is a beautiful sound and gives you an indication to stop and take 3 deep breaths. Okay. Now, the other technique I want to share with you is meditation. I'm a huge fan of meditation, and I have a few meditations available for you that you can download from my website, soulfulmenopause.com. And in fact, I've got a free one on there. If you haven't grabbed that already, go and grab it today. It's called The Magical Forest, and I love this meditation. I do this meditation myself. It's a journey into a magical forest where you get to meet fairies and have some very beautiful, nurturing time to yourself. I'm not going to give too much away because it's really peaceful and beautiful. I want it to be a lovely, magical surprise for you. And it's also really good to use if you are having problems sleeping. It's really great to get you off to sleep. And not only that, just to put you in a space where you can have maybe a more deep and restful sleep. So do get your hands on that free meditation, The Magical Forest. If you go to soulfulmenopause.com, it's on the front page there, on the home page, and there's a little link for you to put in your name and your email address, and then you will receive that meditation with my compliments. Enjoy it, and please let me know how you get on with that. Another thing you can do is when you're working on your laptop or walking around the house, listen to some calming music. Just Googling, for example, on YouTube, meditation music will bring up some beautiful, relaxing music you can just have on in the background. And that really helps to just take down those stress levels. Another thing that I can highly recommend is having a beautiful walk in nature. Nature is very healing and naturally de-stressing for us. I could go into the effect that terpenes have on the body, and when you breathe in these terpenes, they have an amazing impact on your health and well-being. They can speed up your healing, they can reduce stress. So just take a walk in nature as often as you can. And not only is nature helping you, but the exercise is helping you. Exercise can actually help. A low-packed, beautiful walk can help you reduce your stress. Some exercise, if you're, like I was saying before, if you're exercising too much, that can create a lot of stress. And certain exercises can create a lot of stress in your body too. So I always say a good walk in nature every day is the perfect medicine. And then as far as nutrition goes, as I said, this will really depend on what's going on in your body and what's right for you. You are that exquisite individual. So saying that, bearing that in mind, I'm going to give you a couple of general guidelines, but these are, of course, relatively superficial. These are just really dealing with the symptoms and not dealing with your core issues as to why your body is stressed in the first place, but they will certainly give you the support that your body needs and take those stress levels down in your body. So taking a good quality vitamin B complex will really support the stress response in your body. Vitamin C is another great supplement, and I would recommend taking 1,000 milligrams a day because this can really help to lower the stress hormone cortisol. Magnesium citrate is a really good supplement to take as well, but if you have any illness or if you're on any medication, particularly if you have any heart issues, please don't take magnesium citrate without consulting a nutritionist or a doctor first. The other thing that you can do with your diet is to reduce your sugar and caffeine intake. I know. You don't want to hear that. But sugar and caffeine can actually promote stress and inflammation in your body as well. So you can get caught up in a terrible vicious cycle there. So reduce your caffeine and your sugar as much as possible. And also consider taking a really good quality vegan EPA and DHA supplement. Now, I talked about this on my episode about fat and why you need to be eating it. It's actually episode number 20 if you want to listen to that. And if you go to the show notes for episode number 20, you'll see that there's a link in there for a really good quality vegan EPA and DHA supplement that I recommend. That can really help your stress levels tremendously, and it will reduce your inflammation as well. Okay, so there are just a few techniques. What I would recommend is just to choose one. I don't want you to get overwhelmed by this and suddenly we can go gung-ho with something and suddenly put a load of pressure on ourselves, even if initially we're thinking, I'm really excited about this and I want to do it all. We can easily then just fall by the wayside because we put too much pressure on ourselves to keep up some new habits. So just choose one. Which one are you most drawn towards? Okay. Now, if you're interested in working with me to get to your core issues and really make menopause a healthy and positive and most definitely empowering experience for you, please do visit my website, soulfulmenopause.com. Just click on the Work With Me on the top menu. And I've got a 3-month transformation program there where you get to work with me one-to-one. At the time of recording this, I have 3 places that have opened up. Now, there's a link on my website where you can actually get in touch with me so that you and I can just have a chat. And there's no obligation at all. I'm here to answer any questions that you have. It's really important to me that if we did decide to work together, that we're a really good fit and that it is exactly right for you. Okay? I'm not going to talk you into something that wouldn't be right for you. That goes totally and utterly against what I stand for. So please know that we can just have a really lovely chat. I can answer any questions that you may have, and we can see if we'd be a good fit for working together. Please know that I'm here to help you transform the chaos of menopause into vibrant health and a soulful life you'll love. This is what I stand for. This is what I'm here to support you with. Well, big love to you, gorgeous fire moon goddess, and please do get in touch. I'd love to hear from you. To find out more about how you can live a soulful menopause, please visit soulfulmenopause.com. I'm really looking forward to being with you again soon. Bye for now.